The legend of Captain Bigbeard begins in a dusty seaside town where a roaring crowd gathers to witness the end of a pirate. He stands in chains, calm and smiling, as if the moment belongs to him. When asked for his final words, he leans forward and tells them the truth that will break the world. His treasure is out there, hidden somewhere, and anyone who wants it can go and find it, all of it. The reaction is instant. Shock turns into greed. Greed turns into chaos, and just like that, the great treasure madness begins. The world changes in a single moment. In the present day, far from that execution square, a quiet harbor office holds a young cartographer named Mappa Quinn. She believes in order, precision, and safety. Every line she draws has meaning. Every route is calculated. She builds certainty in a world that has lost it. Then the door bursts open. Fin Driftwood storms in, soaked loud, and completely convinced that destiny has chosen him. In his hand is a mop he treats like a sacred object. He demands a boat. Mappa refuses immediately. She deals in facts, not delusions. But Fin doesn't argue with logic. He argues with belief. The mop, which he calls the staff of the ocean boss, has told him to set sail today. That is all the reason he needs. At the docks, Russ Vance is trying to leave that kind of chaos behind. Once a member of the Sea Police, he has witnessed firsthand what madness does to people. Now he wants a quiet life. But he spots Fin attempting to carry a boat into the water by himself, declaring it part of his destiny. And just like that, Rust is dragged back in. Mappa rushes after them, trying to stop what is quickly becoming a disaster. But control slips away from her, just as fast as her maps will soon slip into the sea. Between Fin's reckless determination and Rust's reluctant involvement, the boat ends up in the water. The problem is, none of them are inside it. They jump in after it, and moments later, they find themselves drifting together in a small fishing boat with no plan, no supplies, and no agreement to be there. A seagull lands above them and immediately swallows Mappa's compass, removing the last piece of certainty they had. Her maps are ruined. Rust realizes he is now part of a crime, and Fin smiles, convinced everything is going exactly as it should. The boat drifts into a windless stretch of sea known as the Still, a place where ships stop moving and people slowly run out of time. Mappa understands the danger immediately. Fin tries to blow wind into the sail with pure effort and belief. Rust points out that belief is not a substitute for reality, but reality begins to bend in strange ways. A massive shadow rises beneath them. A giant sea turtle lifts their boat onto its shell, carrying them without warning. Fear! He assumes the creature is uncomfortable, except for Fin scratching its shell with his mop. It works. The turtle responds with relief instead of aggression. Slowly, the others join in. Rust with a plank. Mappa, despite her fear, with what remains of her tools. For the first time, they act as a crew. Hours pass. The tension fades. Exhaustion turns into laughter. They introduce themselves properly. Mappa admits she is afraid of almost everything, especially the sea. Fin admits he cannot swim, yet still intends to chase the greatest treasure in the world. Rust reveals something heavier. He was there at the execution. He was part of the moment that spread the madness. That truth hangs in the air. Then the turtle begins to dive. Panically turns instantly, but Fin refuses to accept the end. He shouts, insisting their journey is not finished. The creature pauses, then releases them, sending their boat back into moving water where the wind finally catches their sail. They survive. That night, under an open sky, something shifts between them. They are no longer strangers. They choose a name. Morning, land appears. Port Lawless, a place without rules, filled with people who have all been shaped by the same madness. They arrive with nothing, and within minutes, things get worse. Fin is tricked into trading away what little they have for a fake compass and a useless boat that turns out to be nothing more than a bathtub. Russ sees it clearly. This crew is a disaster, but Fin doesn't give up. He points out something simple and uncomfortable. They didn't have to follow him. They didn't have to jump into the sea. They didn't have to stay. But they did. Which means they are chasing something too. Mappa wants to create something new. A map no one has ever seen. Rust wants to understand whether the madness started with the world or with himself. And Fin believes there is something more waiting for them out there. That belief is enough to keep him moving. The bathtub sinks, leaving them once again with nothing. No boat, no money, no direction. But still together, still unwilling to stop. In the middle of chaos, Fin makes a decision. If they are going to begin their story, they won't start safely. They will start loudly. He points toward the most dangerous place in sight, a bar overflowing with fights and trouble, and runs straight toward it. Mappa and Rust hesitate, then follow, because at this point, walking away is no longer an option. And so, with no plan, no ship, and no sense at all, the Saltbitten take their first real step into legend.